Hey everybody, ZanesTrees here. Today we are going to go ahead and clean up this juniper. I've had it for probably about 12 to 15 years. I'll have to check the timestamp on my photos. But this tree has been through a lot of different iterations. It initially started as kind of like a Milwaukee or like a garden juniper that just went, it snaked up, and somebody was probably going to plant it in a hedge. And but when I got it, I realized that that wasn't the shape or design that I wanted it to have. So I wanted to make it actually into a bonsai tree. So what I did was I just reduced it. I cut this thing by about a third because it was about 3 times as tall as this, and worked on just some lower branches that could be developed over time to create a nice design. I'm really happy with the tree right now. It's in a Guns ceramics pot. A buddy of mine, really talented individual, and it's looking really good. But now it's time to clean it up a little bit. I still have a lot of wire that's in the tree that you might not be able to see there, but wire is beginning to bite in. The tree is kind of, starting to lose some shape. There's not as much differentiation between the pads as I'd like it to have. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go ahead and remove any old wire that I don't need, and then we'll begin the process of removing any growth underneath the pads to start to create some space. And then we're going to clean the branches out by removing any of the foliage in the crotches and reducing the branching of 3s down to 2 to create more harmony and balance. And so this will probably be about a 3 or 4 hour process. I don't know if I'm going to do the video for the whole time just for the sake of memory, but we'll check in at various points throughout this process to kind of see how we're doing. So once again, the first thing I'm going to do is start to cut this wire that's biting into the trunk. So I'm actually going to take another video right here so you can see. So right here, you can see that this wire is beginning to bite in. This is the perfect time to take it off. It'll leave a little depression on that trunk or on that branch, but eventually that will grow out and you won't notice it any longer. I also have a bunch of smaller wiring that needs to come off, and I have wiring up top inside this tree. This guy wire is kind of messy, so I'm going to take that off. But I really want to make this look like a finished product. I'm also going to clean off the top of the soil here. I've had an issue with, I think, squirrels that have been digging into my moss. And it used to be nice and lush and green, so what I'm going to do is kind of clean that off. Clean the top of the pot off so it can have a little bit more water percolation. And I'm going to clean these weeds off as well. As well as remove a lot of these little cones. So these are like little pollen cones. So you can see that this is actually a male tree as opposed to a female. The female will have berries, the male will have pollen cones. So I'm going to go ahead and remove these guys as well, because they take up some energy from the tree, and they kind of just, look a little unsightly. But yeah, as you can see, it's time to get in there and remove a lot of this wire. And again, a lot of dead growth. So I want to clean out these interiors as well, so that way I have sunlight and air that can pass through the interior of this tree. So anyway, let's get started removing a lot of this excess wire. This is going to take a while, and it's not going to be interesting to watch, so I think I'm going to turn the video off after I cut a few pieces. Maybe I'll just talk a little bit here. The history of this tree, it was given to me by a friend, the same friend who gave me another old juniper. The other one's a San Jose juniper. I think this is a procumbens. Again, sometimes it's hard to identify junipers. without, you know, really like knowing what they are and where they came from. But, and he had started in the art of bonsai, and then just kind of bought a bunch of pre-bonsai material, and then didn't know what to do with it. So he was like, "Oh man, you could take it." So these are some trees that I actually learned on as well. So I didn't know what I was doing for quite some time until I really started to kind of just I joined Reddit, and I was reading the bonsai subreddit. I also was just trying to consume as much material as possible. A lot of trial and error, seeking feedback, and you know, then I joined Bonsai Mirai, which really changed the game in terms of my understanding of kind of what I was doing, and now I work with a teacher named Peter Mackesy, who is just really one of the best Shohin experts in the country, and that's kind of given me some more in-person leveling up. And I think, you know, I feel like I'm pretty good now at what I'm doing. But even just like 2 years ago, I had a lot of learning to do. I still have plenty of learning to do, of course. I'm definitely not like professional level or anything, but I like to share my journey with you all, so you know, kind of like it's doable. I'm learning, growing, making mistakes, and when I learn a new technique or something like that, I'm really excited to share it. So that's when I will make a video. I guess the time to do a self-plug. If you don't follow my Instagram or my TikTok, I have little kind of bits, like bite-sized videos there, you know, that are between like 1 and 3 minutes in length, sometimes shorter, that, you know, maybe explains like some concepts, or you know, shows my process of how I might make a tree. And I think it's helpful. It's kind of what I wish I had when I was starting out. So I'm kind of making it for my past self, and you know, because I know a lot of us are in that scenario where we're trying a new hobby and it feels like it's really complex and there's not enough information, and it's really helpful to have, like, not necessarily just super high level information out there, but very basic information that can simply break down concepts where even a kid could understand it. So that's my goal. All right, well, I'm going to continue to pull this wire off, and in the meantime, you have to do nothing because this is a pre-recorded video. Right, we're back a week later. I have taken all of the wire off. That took me about an hour to get all that wire off. But the next thing that I'm going to do is begin taking all of the bottom growth off of these branches. So I'm going to start at the lowest branch here and just begin to work my way around the tree. And by taking off the bottom growth, it gives the tree the appearance that it's, you know, youthful, in terms of the foliage pads, like nice and healthy, everything is growing up, and gives it that really nice differentiation between each of the pads. So, you know, this takes a little bit of time, but if you just kind of get into the meditation of it, then starts to move pretty quickly. So I don't know how much you can see on the back what I did there, but you go ahead and do some of this. Right on the front side that you can see. There we go. I'll probably fast forward the video because this takes forever, but I just want to give you a good idea as to what I'm doing here. And I'll film the... I'll show you what a cleaned up bottom looks like as opposed to a bottom that's not yet cleaned up. So that, you know, it's got this kind of flat bottom here as opposed to here, the bottom is growing downward. So I'm gonna work my way, again, around the tree, starting with the lowest, and I'll move up to the branch that is the next highest, which is this one. What this also helps with is allowing like more light to get into each of these branch pads. It allows more air, and then it redirects the energy of the tree upward as opposed to down and underneath. You can also start to kind of pick some of the pieces off that are smaller on the underside of a branch, but if there's a big branch on it, you don't want to pull that because that could cause some tearing. Again, I'm just working my way around the tree. I know you can't really see what's going on the back here, but gotta hit the back as well. And the more you do this, the more the tree will just kind of start to take shape. It's just trusting that process that, you know, these things that you're doing are adding to the things that you're doing are adding to the, you know, overall eventual design of the tree. So, you know, I've got these bottom branches cleaned off decently right now. Now I'm going to start here in the middle of the tree, and I'm just going to kind of go around very quickly so you can see what it might look like to start to differentiate each of these pads. And once you start to see the pads coming together in the tree, like once you see separation between them, that's when the tree starts to get like a really cool design. It starts to look older. Let's see. I think I'm just gonna remove this whole branch. I don't even know what I'm saying on this video right now, but whatever. You can tell the back of this tree needs to fill in a little bit. I know it's harder for y'all to see, but might need to wire some of this upper growth down a little bit. Let me see. I also want to compress this side a little bit because that's the direction the tree is moving, I believe. Yeah. But I'll just keep pulling off this bottom growth. You know, I'm not only doing bottom growth right now. Another thing that I'm trying to do is any growth that's like a little bit too high. For example, here I'm coming back and kind of taking the pad down a little bit lower to give it some uniformity and create like nice kind of clouds or pillows in each of these pads. Right now there's a lot of little cones on this tree that I'll probably start to pull some of them off because they're taking a lot of energy to maintain. But for now I'm just kind of making larger sweeping movements here on the tree. So yeah, trying to create a little space between here. Got some differentiation. When I'm coming in, I'm cutting at these junctions as opposed to just cutting randomly. And that way I don't get like browning tips. There's a lot of new growth coming off the top of this tree. And I'm gonna start to take it back slowly. In order to push some of the energy back down toward those lower branches. Got really vigorous growth on the top, so again, by cutting the shoots on the very top, it's going to start to push the energy back down toward the lower parts of the tree, which we really want to do right now. I'm taking this branch and just kind of creating some shape and consistency to it. I want to make this branch kind of like a rounded-ish shape with a little kind of point at the end. I'm going to make the slope of the branch kind of smooth. Might begin to differentiate some of these branches as well. So I got a branch growing into a branch. Like this branch right here is growing into this one. So by taking some of the bottom growth off this one and maybe some of the top growth off of the other one, I can create some differentiation between these two. Struggling a little bit with the dome top of this. I want to narrow it out. But not bring it down so much that it gives like a weird flat top. Getting close to being done for now. I'll probably come back to this tree for a couple more sittings once it kind of grows on me, no pun intended, and set the style in a little bit more. But for now, things are looking pretty good, I think. Again, my eye will probably change at some point here. I'll notice something that I haven't caught yet. Some of the things I have my eye on are, do I want to bring this branch in a little tighter, bring it down somehow up, I don't know, or just make it deadwood. So if I cover this branch right here, we'll see, does it really change the overall design of the tree? I'll just cover the green. Actually might be nice to do something like that. Again, just make that some deadwood. But for now, it's here. What I might do is bring it down a little bit this way. And if I were to take this part of it off, it would be this really delicate little branch down here, which I kind of like. I might further try to compress this side here. Actually, I'm going to do that right now. Just a little bit, because I really want again, the tree's moving that way. So the more I compress this side, the more it makes the tree kind of have that asymmetrical design, and just gives it more character. So I'll bring this in a little bit tighter. It's nice to put the tree on a black background like this, so you can kind of see it a little bit more, like more contrast. Also, it helps to look at your tree through a picture, so you can see like kind of a 2D image of the tree. Yeah, I think that was nice. Now I might take this back a little bit more. Just a little bit here. Maybe this. taking little bits and pieces off at a time. It's actually really nice. Looks better in person than it does in the video. Now, do I want to remove this piece? Let's see. I think so. Now, the other thing I'm considering is this is kind of just like a mass of branching over here, so how can I thin this out a little bit to make it feel a little more manageable? I don't think manageable was the right word. I want to make sure that each kind of branch has a similar amount of foliage on it to distribute the strength of the tree evenly across all the branches. And this also helps, taking a little bit of the stuff off the top there helps differentiate this branch from this branch too, and give the tree some more levels. So I'm just taking off stuff that's like straight upward growing right now to make this pad look a little bit more light, youthful. While the tree looks old, the pad looks youthful with nice, fresh, kind of upward growing growth. What are we doing? I might bring this down. No, that's okay. I've considered what branches I'm going to remove next as well. So I have a bar branch here. Well, it's almost a bar branch. This branch and this branch. So I'm considering, okay, if I remove this, what's the impact going to be? And if I bring this branch down right here, I can fill that space. And this one on the back, I can start to develop more. So that's an option. I also can remove this branch back here, which actually won't be too much of a... Oh wait, never mind, not that one. It's this one. So I cannot move this branch in the front. The tree would just look too bare. This is a really essential branch, so at some point I may remove this one. So the little towel or plastic bag trick is a really good one. You're trying to figure out which branches you should remove, but you don't want to cut them. That'll show you what the tree looks like without it. And that makes this branch here like much more dramatic in the way it drops. If I still have, this back here, which I do need to clean up a little bit, that gives me some depth there, but yeah, that makes a really dramatic drop. Now let's take it back off. The drop is a little less dramatic. Fills in some of that space here, but what I don't always like is these two kind of super parallel branches right here. So I don't know what I'm gonna do just yet, but one thing after doing that I realized I could do is thin this branch out a little bit, because one, it looked good whether or not that branch was there, and two, I didn't really cut anything off the top of it, so it's it was looking almost much more billowy than this branch here. So taking that off a little bit creates a little bit more delicateness. And then this, I actually really like this. This little kind of branch right here just kind of flirts out that way to differentiate it from this pad, which is really nice. So I'm getting close to being done for the day. The back of the tree needs to grow out a little bit more. I have some voids back there. Need to continue to develop those. But after trimming this back, I think it's going to respond really well. Right now it's late November, and you know, come spring, summer, this tree is really going to fill in. Looks pretty good. Let's give it a nice little 360. Is that how I want it? What's the front? Maybe a little bit more. Go. Gotta take all these little dead pieces of foliage off the top. Kind of like doing work when it's cold outside like this. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set it back on the bench and see how it looks. Get that angle just right. I think that looks pretty good for now. The tree has a lot of work to be done on it still, but I think that's pretty nice. I think I may still take some of the weight off the right side of the tree. Now that I see it over here, you know, some of the weight right here I might take back. But I'm just going to think about it for a little while before I do anything. Well, no, I'm going to take that weight off. Now that I have it over there where it's displayed, you can see things look a little different. Right. See how that looks. Hopefully it looks better and not worse. Yeah, that looks really nice so far. Another thing that I'm noticing, I want to differentiate a little bit more between this pad and this pad. So take this down a little bit here. Let that grow out more instead of up. Let's see what that is. Just a little bit. And I think it's okay for now. I still need to do some things to it. I think this back branch here is still a little too strong. You might need to take some things back here and there. should be cutting this, but I'm actually being really stupid right. I want to make this kind of back slash left branch just a little more delicate. Press it just a little more. That differentiates it from this one a little bit. I think that's nice. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm liking what I see here. The last thing I might do is turn this forward a little bit. Ooh, I am gonna do that. That looks too cool not to do. All right, let's do that right now. So we're gonna bend it just like that. Not too much, just enough. Make sure I have enough wire. I really don't need to wire many branches here. Maybe I'll do this one. Sorry, I should have planned this out before I put the wire on, but whatever. Okay. There we go. Now that branch is like kind of proportional. Dips in nice and tight. It's differentiated from this one here. I don't think I need this wire here. I just hooked it onto this just for stability's sake. But yeah, I don't want to. This branch is in a pretty good position. I don't really want to move it. How are we looking? Now, you probably can't see anything on the video. Probably looks just the same. So I just wasted all your time. I think I might be done, folks. I do need to reduce parts of this tree, but I think I'm going to do this on my own time. I'm not doing a video, so I can really see what I'm getting myself into and do that detail work while it's on the turntable. But again, for now, pretty good. One thing I might do is, so I could bring this down here, or I could bring this branch up a little bit. Like that. Let's see. Now that I've moved that over, I feel like I need to tighten this side up a little bit. Just a little. I think that's the angle. Pretty cool. I could do this for hours, you guys. I'm just gonna keep doing this. There are still some things that need to be done. On this tree. Every time I look at it. And I'm just gonna keep doing this over and over and over again. It's pretty good though. All right, moment of truth. That's pretty damn good, y'all. Let's put these guys next to each other. One's really strong and powerful. The other one's really delicate. Nice little bros sitting there together. I think I'm done. Don't forget to water. Don't forget to water. Don't forget to water. Get that angle just right. I think that looks pretty good for now. The tree has a lot of work to be done on it still, but I think that's pretty nice. I think I may still take some of the weight off the right side of the tree. Now that I see it over here, some of the weight right here, I might take back. But I'm just going to think about it for a little while before I do anything. Well, no, I'm going to take that weight off. Now that I have it over there where it's displayed, you can see things look a little different. Right. See how that looks. Hopefully it looks better and not worse. Yeah, that looks really nice so far. Another thing that I'm noticing, I want to differentiate a little bit more between this pad and this pad. So take this down a little bit here. Let that grow out more instead of up. Okay, let's see what that is. Just a little bit. And I think it's okay for now. I still need to do some things to it. I think this back branch here is still a little too strong. You might need to take some things back here and there. And I should be cutting this, but I'm actually being really stupid right. I'm gonna make this kind of back slash left branch just a little more delicate. press it just a little more. That differentiates it from this one a little bit. I think that's nice. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. I'm liking what I see here. The last thing I might do is turn this forward a little bit. Ooh, I am gonna do that. That looks too cool not to do. All right, let's do that right now. So we're gonna bend it just like that. Not too much, just enough. Make sure I have enough wire. Go that way. This. Trying to figure out what other branch I want to wire. And I might do this one on the back here. I really don't need to wire many branches here. Maybe I'll do this one. Sorry, I should have planned this out before I put the wire on, but whatever. Okay. Here we go. There we go. Now that branch is like kind of proportional. Dips in nice and tight. It's differentiated from this one here. I don't think I need this wire here. I just hooked it onto this just for stability's sake. But yeah, I don't want to, this branch is in a pretty good position. I don't really want to move it. How are we looking? Now, you probably can't see anything on the video. This probably looks just the same. So I just wasted all your time. All right, I think I might be done, folks. I do need to reduce parts of this tree, but I think I'm gonna do this on my own time. I'm not doing a video, so I can really see what I'm getting myself into and do that detail work while it's on the turntable. But again, for now, pretty good. One thing I might do is, so I could bring this down here, or I could bring this branch up a little bit. Like that. Let's see. Now that I've moved that over, I feel like I need to tighten this side up a little bit. Just a little. That's the angle. Pretty cool. I could do this for hours, you guys. I'm just gonna keep doing this. There are still some things that need to be done. On this tree. Every time I look at it, and I'm just gonna keep doing this over and over and over again. It's pretty good though. All right, moment of truth. Pretty damn good, y'all. I think I'm done. Don't forget to water. Don't forget to water. Don't forget to water.